Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Magic. Me, FitzMagic, joined as always by my late night compañero, Piano Rob. What's up, my man?
Not much, man. Not much. What's up with you, Gene?
You know what, Patty? Again, as we've heard before, one of our famous pieces of advice we got is you can either work and make that $1 million, or you can go watch a play with your kids in it or something like that. Well, Patty decided not to show up today.
Oh, stop. He should spend time with his kids. It's the summer. You should stop it. Stop.
I know them. They're my niece and nephew. They're not that great.
Oh, stop.
But either way, so I'm trying to pull double duty today. We have a fantastic guest in the house. Chef D, you've seen him on YouTube. You've seen he's a celebrity chef. He's got a restaurant that we're going to talk about. You can get it at, I believe, at Dodger Stadium. And he's worked with a bunch of celebrities doing his Better Than Your Mama content on YouTube. So me and food, I'm all about it.
Yeah, and you know it's amazing all the interviews we've done. First chef on the show.
How
much we love food. First chef.
Yes, and I'm excited about it, man. I can't wait to ask some. Maybe he has some tips too, because I'm a decent cook. I don't know about yourself, Rob. I'm a decent cook.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for tips.
I mean, I'm not on a chef level, but I'm competent in the kitchen. If I had a book, that's what it would. Competent in the kitchen would be on a roll.
That's perfect. I learned a little bit from my grandmother. That's what it was. So Italian food is like my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff that I can't even share because it goes back to my grandmother.
The family can't give away the secrets.
Yeah, I've been asked my sauce recipe plenty of times and said I can't tell you because grandma will come back and haunt me.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk to Chef D in a moment. But you know what? Let's take our short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have Chef D in the house.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
Cute. Oh, Winnie the Cute. Rawr, Jurassic Cute. You're not trash. You're cute. This is Sammy. Sammy loves Disney ears. She loves ears so much, she makes her own. Yeah, 3D ears. Want to see her do it? Let's check it out. Here she's making bows. Here she also makes ears. And sometimes she makes ears with bows. Any kind you want. People have been seeing her with her ears and they're saying, hey, can I get me some ears? Pow, yeah, you can. Here you go. Now Sammy's making ears for any occasions. Ears for dogs. Ears for spooky stuff. You name it. Ears for any occasion. And it's all happening at JSA Creations. JSA Creations. Just ask for Sammy.
All right. Well, I had to do it a different way. Usually we are able to introduce the guest, but being I'm producing and I have to do both because Patty Puddles is a little lazy as our producer sometimes. Today being that day, I have to bring in our guest right from the top. Chef D, how you doing, my man?
I'm great, man. It's a beautiful day today, man. How about yourself?
We're doing good. I'm in New York. Rob is in Central Florida, and you are out in LA, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So in LA, it's always beautiful. Orlando is usually beautiful. Right
it's
now,
beautiful too. Yeah, we're gonna have a little shower come through, like a quick, and that's it.
Which is that time of year. That's what always happens.
Yeah.
In LA, they don't get that. It barely rains, right? What's the old 2020 song? It never rains.
It never rains in Southern California, baby.
Right? In New York, it's just gross right now. But listen, I love being able to have a first chef on the show. This is the first time. Checking your stuff out, man. It is. I'm excited to talk to you. My first question is, how did you start cooking? Where did that passion come from? Did it come from like a family member? Was it just something that you were interested in as a kid? How did it go about? Where did that flame ignite?
Well, it's always been in my family. I have uncles. My grandfather used to cook all the time. He's from Pennsylvania, so we used to go up there when I was young. He used to cook his dishes. He was known for his famous peach cobbler, things like that of the nature. So I never thought I would be a chef. The creativity that lies within me kind of driven me into that passion. So when I was young, I used to draw and things like that of the nature. And, I got older to a certain age and I was like, I got to do something with my life. And I couldn't figure it out. So I went to college for business and I ended up getting a temporary job down at USDA as a food runner. So I was seeing all the creativity that the chefs were sending out the kitchen. And I was like, it inspired me. I was like, this is pretty dope, man. I want to get in the kitchen and learn more. So It made me change my curriculum into culinary arts, applied science, and once I was enrolled in college for that, I then went to my exec chef at the time and told him like, "Hey, I'm in culinary school, man. I like to now get into the kitchen and transition from the front of the house to the back of the house. Start playing with the knife skills and learning recipes and different cooking techniques." So after like 2 months of that, it was granted, and from there it's been on and popping, man. I haven't looked back since.
Awesome.
That's great, man. It's never too late at any point in life. Maybe you're 15, maybe you're 50 when that spark hits you, and if you can switch to whatever that is, it's never a bad time to make that switch.
Truth. That is the truth.
I went to school for business too, and I still ended up playing music. So I'm with you. I love that. I love that switch.
Hey, we know we need to learn financial, literacy to be out here in the world. So we that's the first thing I think it comes to any man when it's further education and learning the do's and don'ts to life. So from there it'll let you get your feet in the door, and then like you say, some can switch any given second, and then you're like, oh man, this is the one right here. So you got to follow your gut sometime, because it turns out to be a great thing. Look at you now. Look at me now.
Yes.
Were there any chefs that inspired you, whether they be celebrity or just from a certain kitchen that you may have passed through?
Well, the chef that I was under at the time, when I was working for the USDA, he was very inspirational. Like, his drive at his age. He was a go-getter. He was a team player, and it wasn't hard for him to ask you to do something, because he was always doing 20 times more than what it is that you were doing anyway. So he was a good role model, good leadership. He really inspired me. He's one of the reasons why I'm able to multitask and pick up the workload, the heavy workloads and stuff at times, because I know it can be done. So he was one of the guys. And then another guy that I worked under when I moved to Atlanta, I was a chef for the Braves. I ran the 755 club, and Chef O, man, was amazing, man. He's like a master chef where he's teaching courses, he's teaching classes, he's certifying other chefs and things like that. He done held some big accounts throughout the world. So he's a mentor to myself to these days. Like, if I ever had a situation I didn't understand, or I may needed advice, or I needed a referral or reference of, I would definitely call Chef O up, and he would get it done for me.
Very cool.
That's great.
What are some celebrity chefs now you look at, you're like, they're doing it the best? Who's the one out there that you say, we're in 20, 30 years, that's where I want to be, or even sooner? Like, what do you see as like the pinnacle of your craft? The ones that are out there.
I never really was engaged as much with sorry about that. To get my little dog out of here. I was never engaged as much with TV in life. So I really don't watch TV. So all my idols have been individuals that I've actually worked for or worked with throughout the industry. So like, to this day, I've never seen a whole episode of Hell's Kitchen. I never seen that episode of Chop. None of these things. So I'm usually a shake and move where I'm always working. My job consists of 15, 16 hours a day. So I hear things, I know who's out there, but I never got a chance to really follow their story to be like, I want to be like that guy right there. It's more so industry wise. Like the guy who used to be, I think his name is Jeffrey or something like that. He was the chef for the White House, and he resigned his position at the White House. And I was an exec sous chef for a convention center in Washington, D.C. And what he started doing after resigning his position, he would take and do conventions of 5, 6, maybe 10,000 people, where he would demonstrate one plate. And then we're up in the kitchen making the food for 10,000 individuals that's sitting down attending, watching him assemble one plate, and they're tasting the food of that one plate from the the preparation we did up in the kitchen for thousands. So I was like, that's very inspirational. When I get bigger in life, that's some of the goals that I want for myself, to take the manual labor away, and then be able to take and have 10,000 people who sit in front of me and listen to me speak and assemble a plate, while you got a massive army upstairs in the kitchen pumping out for those 10,000 that want to taste.
Very cool.
And let me say, anyways, you stay focused like that, you get there.
Yeah, that's
Hands
like pinpoint
down,
laser
you get there.
focus.
Yeah, yeah.
That is it, bro. Because it's like, it's all about the platform. Nowadays I taking everything I do is dedicated to building a broader platform, trying to touch more people without having to physically touch them. So the way the world works nowadays through the metaverse is just social media, this and that, all type of social platforms. So the goal is to understand how that really works and how you can take and conquer that without even being there and
Yes.
getting the message pushed across. So that's kind of like the focal point nowadays. How can I touch people over in Ukraine or over in New York and not be in Ukraine and not be in New York? You know what I'm saying? And still get the message delivered.
Yeah. Now let's talk a little Eighth Notch. Let's talk Eighth Notch. How did that come about? And the title for that?
So the Eighth Notch, it's very interesting. So I come to LA and I had some partners that I basically was recruited. I was recruited, like how they recruit NBA players and stuff like that. So before coming to LA, I was executive chef for the Washington Redskins football stadium for like 4 seasons. I used to do a ton of traveling on the off season of football, where me as an exec, I was able to take in with the convention center experience and background, I was able to take and go to properties like in Orlando, the convention center in Orlando, and with Chef K, which is a good friend of mine who runs that facility, opened up that facility. I would help him do 40 million in food and beverage from January to June on the off season of football, where we're producing for John Deere, Granger, etc. So with me coming to LA with that type of experience, I actually came to raise my oldest child because she had moved to California and I was on the East Coast, and not knowing what I'll be doing, but knowing my resume was strong enough to do things to be able to, take care of her and take care of myself. Instantly after I put my resume out there, in a matter of weeks, man, I was getting all type of hits from everyone, to the point where I got a hit from my partners, which are my bros to this day. And it was an email like, what would you do if you had an unlimited amount? You can create your own food and beverage company and take and, build some stuff from the ground up. I thought it was a false email. And the first day I paid it no mind. And then the second day I'm like, as a professional, you should follow up, because you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Let them be wrong opposed to you being wrong and not following up. So I followed up, and it was the real thing. And the Eighth Notch came about. My partners one of the three, they own commercial real estate. One of the three owned the building that we facilitate the concept in. So this was the first of the concept, and the goal is to take and put food and beverage concepts within the properties that they own to build up the equity for when they sell commercial real estate. So we put a food and beverage company together. Our first concept was the Eighth Notch, and the Eighth Notch means when you're driving a locomotive train, it's the highest like gear. Instead of gears, it's in notches. It's the highest speed you can pretty much be going. The highest gear you can be in to be driving a locomotive train. And we wanted to do a fast casual concept, which we done. And the concept was over top of the Worcester Normandy train station. So, it all kind of coincided to trains, fast pace, etc. So I put this awesome menu together, and we built that concept from the ground up. I sat down with the architects, designed the kitchen, designed the bar, designed the menu, designed the uniforms, hand selected the staff. I mean, like, you're wearing multiple hats a day. I had to wear multiple hats every day. So put that program together, man, and to see it all come together, from the bar facilitating to the back of the house to the catering, was very magnificent, and me taking the next steps in my career to the next level.
And again, for everybody, because we always hope everybody that watches this show is reaching whatever they want to reach. It's all about building that resume and networking. That's what it's about. And all those skills that you're gaining from the business school that you ended up switching your major to everything else, you take those skills with you every step of the way. And the work doesn't stop. Like you said, you're wearing multiple hats. You're probably working harder now as you ever have, but you're seeing all those rewards. You get to see them right in front of you.
Absolutely. So with that came, like I said, the the executive chef traveling, where I was highly respected with the company that I worked for. Was one of the top exec chefs within that company, and I used to do a ton of traveling. So I met other chefs that work for the company as well, and one of the chefs that I met and which are good friends with to this day, he's like a brother of mine. He runs Dodger Stadium. So when he seen I opened up my own restaurant concept in LA, he immediately reached out because they're big in LA on featuring local talent. So to have a Southern Comfort concept come to Southern California and it's your bro, hey, what's up, man? You want in? We got something cool over here, man. And I went forward. So, featured at Dodger Stadium. I do a killer brisket sandwich that's on the menu at the 8th Notch, and that sandwich is featured over there with from the dugout club to the concession stands on the different levels, etc. So it would be fun going over there, getting followed around with 4 or 5 cameras, shaking hands and taking pictures with everyone, and sitting back and see thousands of my sandwiches go out the window.
Yeah, man, that's
pretty cool,
great.
man.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Now, how can we? I'm in New York. Rob's in Florida. Are you on Gold Belly or anything? Can we get, or do we have to come out to LA?
So what I'm doing now is, and pandemic was tough for everyone. Coronavirus destroyed the world for the last couple of years. So what we did was we closed the concept down because we opened up a food hall. We opened up a food hall and it had 7 different food concepts in it. So during out the pandemic, we took and started releasing tenants because it was kind of unfair to hold them accountable to something they couldn't facilitate with the different regulations of mass, 6 feet distance, etc., capacity of 50%, 25%, etc. Those food halls had different regulations than what standalone restaurants had. So with that being said, the fair thing to do, so it doesn't be common because you can't control the world, release the people and let them go. Since we've been back, we haven't been able to bring tenants back into the facility. So what I did was something we always wanted to do with the concept as well. It's a very time consuming project. So I took my time and I took and hired the scientists. I took all my recipes that's from the restaurant and I started putting them into sustainable products where now you see the sauce, you see the barbecue rub. All those recipes come out the restaurant. I've created 7 to 9 different SKUs where I have a smoked lemonade line, etc. And those things are soon to come to the world. Right now, Amazon Prime is showcasing the sauce in the rub. Shopify has the sauce in the rub.
There you go.
I haven't released the other products yet because my goal is I just got the business certified as a minority business to take and go into major corporations where like my relationship with all these convention centers, arenas and stadiums to take and now facilitate product into those buildings. So while working on the pitch deck and working with my consultant coaching, business coaching, doing business coachings weekly, we're building that platform out right now. And then before you know it, this will be those products will be all over the world, man, into major facilities and major grocery outlets.
That's awesome. I wanted to bring up too the sauce and the dry rub that you have. Now that's your creation, that stuff, right? Like
yes.
And so that's
totally.
So we'll have more from that line coming out in the next couple of years.
Absolutely. So I own all my formulas. Like I said, I have a scientist that works for me. Same guy who's helping out the guys that does the truff sauce and the truff hot sauce and all those other big wig sauces and seasons you may see out there in the world. This guy's been in the game for like 30 years strong. So I have a very talented scientist that works with me. Yeah, there we go right there. Beautiful, right there. Man. Very talented scientist that's helping me do these creative things like that. And while working on those products and building those SKUs out, I still do fun stuff with my career, like celebrity chef with different high-end celebrities and clients and stuff like that, while that program is building itself out. So the pandemic was rough, but it was a blessing because it allowed me to take the multiple, the labor away, the manual labor away of working 6.5 days a week, nonstop, from running to the bank deposits, the clearing checks and writing checks for staff, and just constantly always putting fires out. If a staff didn't show up, then I was bartending. If a cook didn't show up, I had to jump on the line and still get the schedule out every week. So when I say nonstop, it kind of like defeated the purpose of me coming to California. I was having my daughter at the restaurant that half a day and not even really been able to spend time with her. So the pandemic has allowed me to restructure a better program, spend more family time with my family, and make a lot more money than I was standing in the restaurant for 12 and 15 hours a day.
Yeah,
I
man.
hear
That the pandemic was a blessing for creative people in the sense of
Yes, it was.
we could take that time. I can't tell you everything you just said resonates with me so much because I was in the bars playing until 2 a.m. before the pandemic, but I had to
You feel me?
reinvent what I did. And
Right.
now I've kind of managed my physical time playing out is shorter in whatever venues, but I'm still working more and harder because it's all the social media and the branding and everything else.
Yep.
But it's more rewarding. I'm home with my
Absolutely.
family right now. We do this for a little bit and I still get to go spend time with them. It's great.
Absolutely, man. So
Yeah,
you know
man.
what a beach day look like. You knows what
Yes.
a sunny day, go-kart ride and stuff like
We're going
that.
to Disney World tomorrow, Chef D. We're taking them to Disney World.
You feel me? That's a beautiful feeling, bro, because it's like when we think we're doing all the right things, we're actually really not. And it's not for us to say, it's just what needs to be done at the moment. So if you're keen to details, you pick up on things quickly. And some people aren't in line with change. And when someone tells them sit down, someone blow or sneeze on you, you're gonna die. I'm like, man, I done been through enough things in life where I probably should have been dead. If this is the one to take me out, then you got to bring your best cold. You got to bring your best cough. You got to bring your best cold because I'm going to work. They shut all the restaurants down. My catering business went up by 1,000%. People couldn't go out, so they got all these mansions
Bring it
out
to
here.
them.
I was bringing it right to them. So it kind of like it helped out in so many ways, man. When we thought the world was in trouble, it was actually in my favor to be just what it needed to be, man. And like I say, to this day, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Well, I want to talk about this here, the smoked lemonade.
Sheesh.
I know you can't get that yet. When do we think that'll be available?
So it's kind of it's a tricky situation because, like, as you know, this is the product no one's ever made in the world.
Yeah,
you can research
it's so intriguing to me, man. Smoked lemonade.
You won't find it, bro. And it's so intriguing to figure out how to make it. And the thing is, it's kind of hard for me to mass produce it right now because no one understands how to make it. So it's like it's me creating my own production facility to take and produce that. So I've made a formula with my scientists, which is cool, but I want it to be more fresh and refined when I give it to the public.
Gotcha.
So me trying to research and figure out how that looks is so crucial because the scientific world of food is totally different than the scientific world of food within your home and what you can do within your home. So I had to learn different SKUs, different products, different lemon extracts, different stuff I've never worked with before ever. I had to learn all these things. And each time I make one of these recipes, I'm testing in the lab like 5 to 6 times before I can find something that's compatible or close to what it is I made in home with the original recipe. So the smoked lemonade is formulated, but I want it to be more fresh and refined. So when it drops, it kind of like works how it works right now when I give it to you fresh. It can be a good mixer for alcohol. It can be used as a simple syrup. It can be used as a lot of things like vinaigrettes. You can do a lot of stuff with this product. And just trying to really like get my platform where I need it to, where I can really speak to some real powerful investors like Minute Maid or someone like that, like a Everfresh Juice, just putting it out there where they have the capabilities to help me produce a fresh product like that, where I can take and release it. But as of right now, anyone I take and do product, I do business with in regards to the smoked lemonade, I'm making it in house myself because I have all the products because I used to sell it in a restaurant.
Okay. So basically, if we want to get a glass of this right now, we got to come visit you.
You gotta come visit me, man. You gotta be in
Yo,
LA.
Rob, we got to go to
so,
LA.
Yeah,
I'm going in December. I'll be in LA in December.
I got you.
Rob will be at your door.
I got a couple of gallons for you as soon as you come over, man.
I will tell you,
That'd be
like, when I
amazing.
saw that, I was like, and let me deliver the picture one more time. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I've never even heard of that, but it sounds like it would be fantastic.
I'm so
Bro,
curious.
It's a game changer.
I'm so curious.
It's a game changer. When
I believe
say game changer, and it's so refreshing because you'll think like, okay, smoke lemonade. You think of Moscow, stuff like that. You think it's gonna be strong and pundit to the point where it's gonna be overpowering. Man, it blends the way I figured it out, the scientifics of it that I figured out, the mechanics of it is so well balanced.
That's great.
You can't go wrong. When I say, man, it's great by itself, but if you're a drinker like me, sometimes after work where, you might need one or two to sit you down, man, if you got an event, it's a beautiful, beautiful pairing. And every event I do, I take some to the event and I push it like that because, like I say, I do celebrity clients out here in Calabasas. So it's like these guys have big platforms. So if I'm taking it and pushing the product in their direction, you're going to speak on it. You're going to talk about it because it's just that great of a quality product. So when it do come, the world will know about it. And when it drops, it'll do what it's supposed to do with no problem because it's not foreign at that point.
Yes.
Look out, man. Look out for it. Now let's talk a little bit of better than your mama's on.
Oh yeah.
I love that idea, that concept, right? Because everyone, whenever they think of like old-fashioned good food, home cooked food, they always think of what the food they grew up with, right?
Right.
With me, it was my grandmother. My grandmother used to be like the big cook. But what gave you the idea to do this concept and to bring people along to do this with?
So like, like when the pandemic hit and I shut the restaurant down and, we were waiting on guidelines and waiting on this and that, I got to work. I didn't have time. Like I said, I'm a shake and move. I don't sit around. I create stuff. I'm a creator. I make things happen. So not only was I working on the different SKUs for the different recipes coming out the restaurant, at the same time, I was working on creating my own show. So I took and hired a young lady, like you say, Rob, in regards to the social media and stuff. So like that's not my one of my strong points, knowing social media, knowing how YouTube work, etc. So I had a talented young lady that worked the event with me out in Atlanta. And at that time I was searching for a nice videographer to the point where they can help me create YouTube content, create social media content, period. And I just couldn't find the right person. And I come across this young lady's path at an event that I was flown out to do in Atlanta. And she was just right for what it is, I was trying to do. So we sat down, we did a consultation. I explained to her the direction I want to be in. And she actually came up with the concept. She was like, man, I think, I have the perfect show that we're going to do for your YouTube and things like that. And I was like, what is it? And she was like, Better Than Your Mom. It's a good controversial show where we bring different celebrities on and we take and really like just give it to them. And you go in there gung-ho and you take and you do what you do basically, and you make that dish better than their mama. So it's a very interesting show. Anyone who's ever seen it, they love it. It's to the point where networks are looking at it right now. It has strong networking legs. And before you know it, a matter of time, that show will be in position where people can view it all over the world.
Nothing.
I love the concept of it too.
Nothing is better to me than seeing an idea start from an idea and then come to fruition through the steps that it has to, and how important it is to delegate things you don't know how to do. Like, I don't know how to use YouTube well. Gene knew how to use it a lot better. That's why this worked out. And it's not that I didn't want to learn about it, but there's only so many hours in a day too. And we got to decide what our strengths are and where we can put that time.
Absolutely.
And let other people work for us at what they're good at. And we grow this thing together. And look at it. And then for you, in this one instance, you have a million of them. Better Than Your Mama's shows up. It's fantastic.
You feel me? And that's kind of like that's the direction. So I put a team around me from consultants to videographers, things like that. And I took it and stepped out the realm of the restaurant industry as a restaurateur because it's gonna come back. It will come back, but right now it's still so sensitive to invest in that type of money and having those type of overheads. And you know, with me taking a different direction, I've shown my partners that we have less overhead, we have more production, more productivity, and I think this is the better way of life right now. And the way the world has shifted, you know, to go into the e-commerce field, build myself up more as a celebrity chef, build my platform up more, and anything that comes behind that at that point is a total success because now I have a gang audience that follows me to the things that I put in front of them that make sense to the world.
Yeah,
I agree. So you know what? You've done a bunch of work with a bunch of celebrities as far as Better Than Your Mama, just different events that you've done. What would you say be one of your most memorable experiences? I know we recently talked about you doing something with Will Smith. We had just had Caleb Pinkett, his business partner and brother-in-law, on the show, and I was saying, "Oh, we just had him on the show." And you're like, "He's everywhere." But we have the photo of the event with Will Smith. What would you say is one of your most memorable celebrity spots?
Probably within that family, man. It's an awesome family, man. You know, very loving, very enduring. Like those guys are awesome. You know, they're from the East Coast, like I'm from the East Coast, so they're very relatable. I just go in there, I do my thing, and I get in and I get out. You know, anytime I have a shift over there. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I think being in the space of any individual that's taking their life to the next level where the world loves them, and for them to care for you enough and trust you enough to have you within their space, I think that's a memorable experience along by itself because there's so many different hats you got to wear when you work for celebrity clients and stuff. You know, from appearance to articulating well to presentation of yourself, presentation of your food, professionalism, you know, being able to interact with the family and stuff like that as they come through, always smiling and just having the right energy. You know, I think that's real big when you're in a person's personal space within their home. So it's a job on top of a job on top of a job. And I'm 100% every time I go into one of those homes, I execute 100% the same way. And I think that builds itself out to the point where the people start to taking a liking into you as an individual and not just, you know, a person that's working for them within their home.
Yeah. And you know, we don't touch on this a lot on the show, probably because we haven't really had a chef. But when you start getting better clientele and you've built that better clientele, the networking and everything that comes from that, that's a business above a business. It's one thing to have a restaurant, but when people say, I want you to play piano, I want you to cook my food, and they want you in their house, that's you know you're on the right track when that's happening. And you can make more money that way. That means you're desired.
Yep. So it opened my eyes to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, I have pretty much at this point no overhead, from going to 40 to 60,000 a month to having no overhead to gaining more and making a ton of more money. Like I wouldn't trade that in for the world. Like, you know, my partners was like, man, what do you want to do with the restaurant industry? I was like, you know, actually, to be honest with you right now, we can just let the restaurant industry curate itself. Let me build this industry right here for us, and I guarantee it'll be more profitable than the restaurant industry any day.
It's giving you the ability to build your brand, to build a brand, not just put food everywhere, but build a brand.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the most key things, because that's the foundation, really, right? At the end of the day.
Yep. Because once that foundation is built and is there, then you can open up a restaurant, and then it could be a short menu concept. Like, you know, there are plans in the works for Saucy D's. Saucy D's is like a revamp of the Eighth Notch, where it's a short menu concept with like 4 or 5 things, including the smoked lemonade, and taking franchise this like a Five Guys and do it, you know, as a franchise where, you know, I sell that portfolio off one day and then the franchise have to buy the products back for me to run the franchise. So that's kind of like the direction I'm in now. You know, with
we needed Saucy D's in Orlando, in Disney Springs, Rob.
That's what I'm
Well,
telling you, bro.
that's what I was thinking. It'll make it, but it's so important, everything you're saying, because I don't know if people always understand the overhead concept and how hard it is. It's like people say to me, "Don't you want to open your own piano bar or something?" It's like, not really, because then I'm stuck paying this rent, paying these salaries, paying everything. But if I have all my like I have my musical equipment that in my home, I can just bring it wherever I need to bring it. So I'm not paying to store it. I'm bringing myself. If you want to fly me somewhere to play, if I'm doing something online, instead of reaching just a room of 100 or 200 or even 1,000 people, I could be playing to tens of thousands of people because everybody, it's think bigger, people. That's what I'm saying. Chef D is a great example of that. Think the sky is the limit if you want to put the work in. We got think big and then put the work in.
Now let's talk. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, and that's kind of like where I'm at right now with life. You know, as I get older, my goal is to take and remove the manual labor away and be able to work more for my brain. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And deliver more without having to physically touch it.
Yeah, I get that, man. Now let's talk some specific food. Let's show some of the stuff we got. I mean, like, I mean, are you kidding me? Like,
man.
Look, I mean,
that's my work. So that event right there, just to let you know.
Which one? This one here?
That event right there, I had 4 days to put together for 1,500 people. And that is a wine and food festival out here. And I think it was in Camarillo, California. 4 days. And I had to use the culinary students. Well, not even the culinary students. It was a company called Costa Pacifica, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And I think it's a beer company, but they have a program within the program where they help like battered kids, shelter kids, kids that's been in trouble and things like that, where they got like mentors, like, you know, big brothers, where they take and they have these kids until they're like 18 before they release them back to the world. But there's a program that they're in as far as helping to rehabilitate them and you know, get them ready for the world. So I had those kids with a menu like that I put together and had to direct them, train them, get the production done, pack up the kitchen from Ventura, California, move it down to Camarillo where the event was going on at, execute it, set it up, build a satellite kitchen outside, like all these things I had to do within 4 days of execution.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. People don't, and we always like to talk about that too, because with any type of artist, and a chef is an artist, like hands down. With any type of artist, we always say you see this much of the work the artist puts in, and it's all you don't know, and you have to be willing to do that work, and that's why, like Chef D's saying, he would love to be more the idea guy. I'll put the stuff on paper, but you get to a point you're like, I don't want to put in the hours at the event all the time. It's a lot of work. Yeah,
a lot of work.
I'll tell you what too is what I love about that is you might have been able to inspire some of the next generation of young chefs, right? I mean, to be able to show them some stuff and say, hey, listen, you can look at me because I'm doing it as we speak through all the hard times I've had to deal with COVID that knocked the restaurant industry on its butt. To say, look, I'm still persevering and I'm thriving in this time.
You feel me? Yeah.
And I think for them to see that coming from such tough beginnings, to see that I can have a path where I can do some great things. I think what you did was not only was it, I'm sure, a great event, but to work with and be such a role model to, I think, the next generation of young chefs.
And like I say, I walked on the floor, and when I take over properties like that, I like to introduce myself because a lot of people are coming there looking all cool, and you know they're used to seeing the white suit to the point where it's crispy. You got the clogs on, the big tall chef hat. I done went through all the years and phases of that working in corporate America. Now as an entrepreneur, I've learned how to work where I can't get dirty. So I might be in the kitchen in all Christian Dior, and they be like, man, okay, where's the chef at for today? And I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, Chef D, I'm here, y'all. This is what we got going on today. And they're looking like, what the heck is going on? Until they see the performance. Then at the end, they'll come back. They want pictures. They want everything because they're inspired now. Like, man, I've never seen it work on this side of the fence. I've always seen it work and projected this way. So when I show them a different way, it's not only inspirational, it's like, man, you can really do what you want to do without it being scripted out to being what you think it should be or how it
Yes.
should be done.
Yes. Yes.
You've changed trajectories in people's lives, and that's inspiring in itself alone. That's inspiring in itself. But let's talk about specific dishes, right? I'm always curious to know what a chef thinks about certain things. So a couple of them. What would you say was your favorite dish to cook, for both the art of cooking and just because you enjoy the flavor of it?
Well, I can't really say a favorite dish because I cook good food. So it's like it really depends on like what I'm doing it for. So like, you know, depending on your needs and what it is you're looking to see, I'm gonna put my best foot forward. So how do I come up with these dishes to make them creative? It's a lot of thought process that go into it. You know, after consulting with the client in regards to their needs, knowing what they're trying to do, I always think like an artist. I think vibrant, I think flavor profile, I think presentation, I think what I'm plating it on or what I'm bowling it up at. I think of all those different things to paint that picture in real life. And that's the thought process that goes into that. I don't sit around and draw. I don't practice. I come up with these things from the experience of knowing how they work, and I manipulate them into real life, real life situations. So that's kind of like how I come up with, my best dish or a creative dish or, things like that of the nature.
So let me ask you this then. You're home on a Sunday afternoon, you got nothing to do. And you just want to eat something really good. What's your go-to dish that you make for yourself that you love to eat?
Man, my go-to dish for myself is, babes, can you make me something to eat?
We're
all the same. We're all the same at the end of the day. We're all the same.
I gotta tell you, fantastic answer. Honest. You're off the clock. You got
I'm be honest, bro. It's like that's my balance nowadays. The kitchen is my woman's kitchen. That's her sanctuary. Yeah, she goes in there. Great. She does her things. She even pulls recipes up offline, and she don't let me come in at all. So she's very
Did we lose him?
Cooking.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that. I kind of
no worries.
I love the fact that she's got #1 access to a chef that's a celebrity chef that cooks with celebrities, and she's still like, get the hell out of my kitchen.
You know what she tells me? I'm her celebrity client. She's like, okay, baby, I'm going to the store because I got my menu ready for the next 3 days. And she goes and she pulls her recipe. She does her own thing and she presents to me. She does her presentation and everything. So I'm like, okay, baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't go in there unless I really feel like doing something creative for us. But for the most part, until I walk out the door to go to work, I'm all in. Whatever she knows what I like. So it's like, babes, I'm hungry. She's gonna go in there and make something happen.
That's great.
I'm not gonna lie. If I was married to a chef and she could cook, I would never ever cook. I would never.
But the thing is, though,
I give you credit and I give her credit for being able to make that balance. Because if my wife could cook like you could cook, like I'm seeing these pictures, and if my wife ever made these for other people, I'd say, what about me? Like don't ever make this for somebody else and don't make it for me.
Charcuterie cups, huh?
Like, don't make this for someone else and don't think you're gonna go home and not make it for me.
Like if you're married to a masseuse and you're not getting massages type of
thing. The Jerry Seinfeld episode. Remember the Jerry Seinfeld episode?
Some things work in favor. Like when we have company over and stuff like that, then I know to go in there and turn some things up. For the most part, family-wise, I kind of let her do her thing, man. And I appreciate what she do. She's a hard worker. I critique it. If it's not right, I let her know, be like, maybe a little less salt or something like that. But for the most part, I enjoy the meals. And I enjoy her taking the time out and having the confidence to go put a meal together because I have kids as well. So it's like when I'm not home, I need to know that the home is good when I'm out taking care of a home. So it's a good way to reassure that home is good. And after, like chefs, any other chef you ever speak to, they'll work 14, 15 hours and not eat anything the whole time they were there. Or they may snack on something or they're tasting things, but it's no real food. It's no real fuel for your body. Let me say that. For when you're moving so rapidly, nonstop for the capacity of those hours. So to come home and have a plate ready for me or be like, babes, I'm on the way home, and she prepared plate for me. That's appreciative, because the reason why we don't eat when we're working those type of hours, because we have so many things going through our brain, we don't have time to really sit down and enjoy the meal. So it's like, if you can't sit down and enjoy the meal, you're going to take a knick-knack, pick-pack, or whatever, and get up, walk away from it, and don't come back to it. And it's the same thing as tasting or, eating on the go. So to be able to come home, decompress, eat a balanced meal, that's everything for me in the world, man.
That's excellent. So what is a dish that you made that you're like, I don't know about this, but people like just went nuts for it? Have you ever had a dish that you're like, I don't know, I'm just testing it out, and then someone tried it and it was crazy?
Wasn't a dish. It was actually an event, and it was like a housewarming or something. One of my clients from LA moved to Atlanta, and this is where I met my videographer at the same event, and we hung out. He's a good friend of mine as well. We hung out the night before. I think we ended up going to the strip club or something like that. We were out, and I got too hungover. Like, I didn't really eat. I was tore up. So the next day, I'm in Four Seasons. I'm trying to eat, get myself together, because I got to go shop and get all this stuff. And I'm preparing food for like 30 people. And the menu is an extensive menu. And it's me and just an assistant. And the assistant has no expertise. They're more so just coming behind me. And I put the meal out. I put the spread out, because time started coming out of nowhere, and I got everything done on time. I got the spread out, and I was like, man, some things I pushed straight through on. I was like, I just don't know about this spread. I feel like it could have been a lot more better.
Yeah.
Still, if I was like equipped and not hungover. But when I say I got so many reviews, I got so many hand claps, so many standing ovations, I was like, well, goddamn, that really worked out.
Yeah, man.
That's a blessing, man.
Myself.
Now, this was in Atlanta?
It was in
So
Atlanta.
tell me, please, it was Magic City that you went to the night before, right?
I think it was Onyx.
Gene, I don't want to know your I don't want to know your knowledge.
I think it was a place called Onyx. Or something like that.
Because Magic City's the place to go when it's like scores when you're in New York. And so I'm just if you're in Atlanta,
I've been to Magic City before. I used to live in Atlanta, so a lot of the security guards used to be food runners for me and stuff like that, because how those guys work in Atlanta, you may have someone working for you, but then they may have 4 or 5 different other jobs. Exactly. So from security to food running to personal trainer to acting, you never know. So it's like, I go to the club. The one time I had a friend in town, I go down there to meet him in Magic City, and I run into 2 of the security guards. Both security guards work for me at the stadium. I'm like, well, God dang. They like, Chef, what you doing here, Chef? Come on, man. We got you. We're with you.
And then they gave you a different kind of dry rub.
Of course. You know that.
Rob always has to go crazy.
You know that.
I'm the problem. You know that.
You took it too far. All right.
That's
well, now we know that if we're in Atlanta, we got to go with Chef D, because he's got the hookup at Magic City. So,
totally.
but one more cooking question, and then we're gonna get to lightning lane.
Okay.
What is the dish that you it's so easy to make that people like rave about? Like you spent 10 hours cooking it, and you're like, man, that took me 10 minutes. What is that dish that you make that's like that?
My background is mass production, so a lot of my dishes aren't 10 hours. Like, it's crazy. I'm like lightning round in the kitchen, to be honest with you. It's like I goes in, and it's like I'm in and out. Like, I could be like, say for instance, with the pandemic, a lot of people were coming to California. They was renting Airbnbs out where they're like 10, 15, 20 people, and they have these social gatherings. And I can literally ride around in my car and then get a call or get a DM and be like, what are you doing this evening? We'd like to book you for a dinner event in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
So I would have to pull over on the highway or pull over on the side of the road, go back and forth, will and deal with the client, propose a menu, write a menu on the fly, propose a menu, give them the information to deposit the money for the down payment. They send that, and then I'm off to the stores. I'm off to the stores for like an hour and a half, and then I'm off to the mansion. Within 5 hours, I've executed a tremendous menu
That's crazy.
Wow.
from beginning
Oh,
to
man.
end. So I can take at least 2 of those a day. And I'm when I say bro, I'm like
Wow.
charging per person, and I'm coming out like kinging it with
Yeah.
no overhead. Like they pay for the food, they pay for my labor, they pay for my assistants, they pay for my gas, mileage,
Yeah.
everything. You
Nice.
I
can't
got to
go
tell you
wrong.
that interests me so much because I wasn't even going to bring this up, but it's very relevant to this. My girlfriend cooks down here for Disney. So
Right.
she's hoping to get herself up, and one of the things she wanted to do, especially she even tampered with the idea of making it maybe some THC cooking too. But she
Right.
wanted to do exactly like that, like people rent out Airbnbs, and it's funny because Airbnb just changed their
They
policies
just
to try
changed
to
it with
keep
no
that from
party.
happening.
Right. Absolutely, man.
Yes,
Because people
it's
were making so much more money on top of the venues, opposed to what it is. Like it was just,
wow.
it's just the way of the world. That's the new shift of the world. And believe it or not,
Yeah.
it really works. And I think they can't stop what has already started. I
If
think,
people can call you directly and they don't know about it, like that
I think
has
that's
to
how
be.
I think that's
Yeah.
how they're gonna. I think that's how they're still gonna play it out, because at the end of the day, it's like you can't really stop that. You can't control that, and you can't lose your business.
Yep.
So if it's not to the public's eye, where they're like making a mess and having a police call,
Of
I
course,
think
yes,
they're
of
still
course.
going to honor the certain amount of people that do come into those homes. Still, it just
Yeah.
makes sense.
Cool.
Because that's such a great, like I said, that's such a great concept. It's me setting up my piano show in your mansion or
Yep.
whatever else
And,
it is.
and
It's a
that's
great.
what was going on. We had acoustic guitar players and stuff like that. Like depending on
Yeah.
the event, we're doing 5-6 courses, like and we're getting up to charging these people like $300 to $400 a person. And
Yeah.
when I say,
Nice.
man, when I say beautiful situation, man.
Yes.
Opposed to being in a restaurant, when you start seeing numbers like that, and you're like, man, I just did 2 gigs a day. You know what I'm saying? And we made this. Like,
Yeah.
wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that.
You
Oh,
don't want to
man,
go
yeah.
back to a restaurant after seeing those numbers.
I hear that.
Yeah. See, I understand that.
Especially
So
with all the
well. Like I
management
said,
stress.
Yes.
I'm in that house party world when I'm lucky. It's a couple a year if I'm lucky, but same thing. They'll have the chef of their choice. Down here, it's usually a Disney chef because they know
Right.
somebody that works somewhere. And
Right.
it's like, and if I get to be the piano guy too, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Let's keep doing this.
And that's
the
what
world.
I'm saying. And like when I used to come to Orlando and work a lot. And like I say, the guy who runs the convention center, Chef K, he's a good friend of mine. And that building does so much money. So much money, and there's 2 buildings. We ride around the building on golf carts and bikes because it's so big of a building.
Yes.
So a lot of employees for Universal and for Disney on their off season, they go actually to the convention center and work. So I've worked with a lot of the chefs from Universal. I've worked with a lot of managers and the chefs from Disney as well when I used to come down there. So I kind of know how it is, man. It's like a big niche family when it comes to production and food and beverage out there.
That's
Cool, man.
awesome.
So
That's awesome.
we're gonna play a game called Lightning Lane. That's where we're gonna ask you 10 rapid fire questions, and you answer the first thing that comes off the top of your head. All right, you ready?
Okay. Go.
All right, so let's do it. Lightning Lane. It's a good thing you had your hat backwards because it might have blown right off with that. Right? All right, here's we go. This is to be interesting. Being a chef, first question: favorite late night snack?
Potato chips.
Ooh. All right, here we go. Last song you listened to?
Tim's. What's the name of what's the name of her song? Tim's is free spirit or free world is free your mind. I think it's called Free Your Mind.
By
I think
Tim's.
I think
the
that's
young
it.
lady. I think she's Nigerian. It's like Free Your Mind. I think that's her name.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's Free Your Mind. I think it's Free Your Mind.
Yeah, that's the one.
last show that you binged watched?
I don't know.
You don't watch TV, really?
He doesn't
right?
watch TV. He's busy.
Yeah,
He's successful.
I don't.
Right.
I'm a movie guy. I'll watch a movie, but I don't
All
deal
right,
with
well, favorite movie then?
Jurassic World. I just watched
Oh,
Jurassic.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one. Who's your favorite musician or band of all time? Who do you listen to usually?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, man.
Very cool.
September is still up there for everybody alive. That song.
Yeah,
It's never going anywhere.
absolutely.
If you could have any animal for a pet, what would it be?
A dog.
Yeah, nice.
Any exotic animal. You still want a dog?
Any exotic animal, yeah, dog, because it gets crazy.
They're friendly.
It's got to be a small dog. It can't be too big of a dog because I'm the big dog in the house.
Yeah.
It can't be bigger than me.
All right.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Maui.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Clean as you go.
Okay.
Right.
In
That's
life,
fair.
period.
Yeah. What is an interest or a hobby that people would be surprised you have?
Architect.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
What's the number one thing?
Building.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
man.
What's the number one thing on your bucket list?
Get rich and stay rich.
Yay. There you go.
Maintaining. I get it.
This is another question I'm interested to ask a chef. What is the best smell in the world to you?
The best what?
Smell in the world.
Oh, like onions and garlic.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
We're all
I love it.
the Italians and us. So,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I love to
the
chop
smell of
garlic because I just love to smell
onion
my
and
hands
garlic.
after.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Nice. Listen, Chef D, man, thank you so much for joining us this week. We got one extra bonus question before we get out of here. I completely forgot because Patty Puddles is in here. I'm thrown off. What is the best advice you've ever received and who gave it to you?
The best advice I ever received was be relentless and be fearless. And that came from Will Smith.
That's
there you go.
That family has given us a lot of great advice.
Yes.
One way or another. It's amazing.
Whether it be through Warren Buffett or not.
Yeah,
right?
it's funny.
Warren Buffett.
Life is life, man. That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, so and one quick question before we get out of here. What do you got coming up? What's the next thing we can see? We got Smoke Lemonade that we're talking about.
Right now, I'm working on a project right now where I'm trying to admit all products into convention centers, arena, stadiums. Working with a project for Amazon Fresh to take and be a retailer for Amazon Fresh where they can sell my products on their platform as well. This more so getting the products that I've created on a global level and getting them out to the world.
Awesome. Guys,
yeah, man.
Please make sure you go check out Chef D. Go check out on YouTube Better Than Your Mama because it is fantastic, man.
That
and
thing
right now,
crazy.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
I get
love
Patty LaBelle on there. It's really gonna be over.
And let me tell you something. Go to his Instagram and just look at the food. Just look at the food because you're gonna be starving after. Chef D, thank you so much for joining us this week, man.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure sharing platforms with you all, man. I wish you both the best as well in your endeavors.
Thank you so much.
To come to as well, man. And have a blessed rest of your day, man.
You too.
Talk with you guys soon.
Thank you so much,
man. Thank
you, guys. We're gonna take a short commercial break. When we come back, being Piano Rob, we'll wrap it up.
All right, friends. Well, this is the Diz Nerdy Network and all the amazing content creators that are going to be contributing. Rosie and Rob and Ali and Sammy and Tinker J and Vicky and Joe and Greg and Gina and Miriam. We're all going to be here making magic for you. So hit that subscribe button. Stick around with us. And Gene, you're going to throw a pen? Is that going to happen? You want to get us out of here?
Well, guys, let's kick it old school. Guys, have a great today, a better tomorrow, and we will see you next time.
9 p.m.
I'm a puppet, guys. What a fun show tonight, guys. Honestly, super talented, super fun, super nice guy. make sure you go out and you check
What
out
what an inspirational guy. Like we keep like every guest we've had in some form, you don't quit. Like that's what you do.
Yeah.
You it's the idea and the follow through and the putting the effort through and you just see where it can get you see where it can get you. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, fantastic advice again on the episode. And you know what? Listen, like I said, man, that food is amazing. I can't wait for the smoked lemonade because it just sounds. Obviously there's nothing else like it. It just sounds so interesting to me, man.
We'll get.
I'm excited for it.
As soon as it's available, like he said, especially if he gets with Amazon. I got my Prime membership, man. It's coming.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And guys, also make sure you go check out some of the other stuff. Some of the other flavors he's got, like the sauce. And the dry rub, all that stuff you can get now. We'll have the links dropped at the bottom. I know there's you can get to his website through his Instagram as well. So go check him out. Make sure you give a watch over to Better Than Your Mama's, which is a fantastic, fun show, which definitely needs to be put on the Food Network or the Food Channel somewhere on TV. It's that good. But other than that, make sure you go check out Piano Rob on the Facebook. Find out where he's going to be when you come to town. Find out what events he's got going on. We got to check out those Piano Rob reels, Piano Rob TikToks. So make sure you go do that as well, man. And I guess that's about it, man. So let's get a little play out music. Yeah, there we go. Guys, make sure you have a great today, a better tomorrow. For me and Piano Rob. I think I screwed it up. Patty's got me all messed up. Have a great today, a better tomorrow. We'll see you next time.
Hey, man, he did something.